Today we are going to install the new, turn Offroad, Ford Bronco, RR2, M2, 2-door hard-top half-roof rack. This rack fits the 2021 and newer Ford Bronco, 2-door models. Installation time is around 60 minutes. Can be installed by yourself, but easier with a friend. With a difficulty level of beginner. You will need this list of tools to get the job done properly. So, gather all these tools, and let's start this installation. Let's start by pre-assembling the main rack framework. The main framework consists of 3 cross members. You will need to prep these with foam feet padding and cage nuts, which go in each end and along one edge of the 2 main cross members. The cage nuts are easy to install. You hook one side, pull it down, and snap the other side in place, as shown here. Cage nuts will also be installed in these locations shown here, along with foam padding on each foot of the rack, where it rests on the roof, shown in this location. Now, what you see here is the order of how the parts go together, front to rear. We now will install the mounting bracket on the 3 extrusions. On the top of the extrusion piece is 1 middle channel, and on the bottom, there are 2 channels. We will be installing 4 supplied channel bolts into these 2 channels, 2 on each end. Just slide them into place. Next, each mounting bracket will install facing down, as you see here. Then, thread on the supplied 10mm backing hardware. Repeat this step to the other 2 extrusions, making sure each bracket is all the way on, then tighten everything down. Next, line up the extrusion rails with the front and rear crossmember mounting holes, and begin threading in the 5mm button head bolts, one side at a time. Now, line up the other ends with the crossmember, and thread them in by hand as well. Now that you have everything hand threaded, go back and tighten down all 12 bolts. Next, let's attach the rear, or third crossmember, to the middle crossmember. Do this by setting in place and lining up the hole in the truss plate with the slotted cage nut. This nut can be tightened in any position along the rack, but we suggest lining up the truss plates with the extrusion rails, as you see here. Now, align the edges with the whole rack and tighten snugly. They may need adjusting once installed on the vehicle. Next, it's time to set the rack in place on your Bronco. Grab a friend, and set it in place on the hardtop. Once in place, align it side to side, and front to rear with your friend's help. Now, grab the wider of the 2 mounting brackets, and insert it into the slot in the hardtop, and tuck the top end up into the crossmember. Don't forget to adhere the supplied rubber backing to the mounting plates. Then, line up the hole and thread in the supplied 5mm longer button head bolt, and tighten just slightly. Repeat this step on the other side of the vehicle, making sure that the plates and crossmember align in the pockets properly on each side. Next, come back around to the front cross member, and install the front mounting plate. This is the smaller of the two plates, and installs basically the same as the rear plate, as you can see here. Because you set and align the rack on the top earlier. You don't want the rack to move in any way. So, as you tighten down each corner of the rack, do so in small increments, so there is equal tension across the rack. You may have to go from one side to another a couple times until tight. Note, the mounting plate is flat, while the hard top is curved, so be careful to not over-tighten, as doing so will pull the bottom of the top out. Now, grab one of the side plates, and set it into position. Then, thread in the top front, and rear button top bolts. Remember we left the rear trusses adjustable, so we can line up the rear bolt holes. Next, finish threading in the bolts, as you see here, finger tight. Again, you may need to adjust the back, or end plate a little, to line up these rear holes. Now, we will leave these bolts loose for the moment, while we install the other side. Repeat these steps on the other side of the vehicle. Once completed, now tighten up all the side and upper side plate bolts on both sides of the vehicle. Lastly, let's align the trusses with the extrusions one last time, and tighten down, but depending on what accessories you may be installing, you may choose a different location on the rear slides. Congratulations, that completes your Turn Off-Road, 2-door, half-roof rack installation. This half-roof rack was designed and tested with strength and profile in mind. It is extremely durable and is designed to be low profile and sleek to keep wind noise down. The rack adds under 3 inches to the overall height and features an aerodynamic air deflector in the front. This results in minimal wind noise, and a vehicle that can still clear most commercial and residential garages. Whether you are camping, on the trail, or in the city, the low profile and high strength of this rack will get you, and your gear, where you need to go. Until your next Turn product install, be safe out there. If you have any questions during your product installation, don't hesitate to contact us via phone or email. We are here to help.